In today's video, we're going to be taking a look here at the tropics where we do have Hurricane Lee in the Atlantic expected to become major hurricane, so we do expect big things with this one. We're going to be talking about the overall tropics and the upcoming pattern a little bit later on. Before we do, let's talk about Prestige Weather. It's going to be in the description and pinned comment down below. It's only $5 a month, and we are giving early access to our snowfall forecast and our first freeze forecast currently, so you get access to that for just $5 a month, as well as weekly consulting calls and other consulting services within our community. So a lot of exciting stuff there to gain access to. You're definitely going to want to check it out. Now, let's get into things, and we're taking a look here at that Hurricane Lee that you can see. We do expect this one to continue on kind of a west-northwest trajectory there, as you can see, becoming a major hurricane by 2 p.m. on Friday, and maintaining that major hurricane status at least through Monday, where you can see we do expect this one to be north of the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, somewhere in between there. At this point, we don't really know what's going to happen. You can see this cone really widens out at that point. It can go very far out to sea, towards the southeast, even too far south for the southeast, where it could be heading towards the Gulf. There's a million different options here with this one, and that makes it extra dangerous and extra hard to predict. Now, the Atlantic 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook, we do have this 60% chance area of development. This one, thankfully, does not look to head towards this kind of danger zone of the Caribbean. However, this could get us further into the named storms list, as we do have a 30% chance of development over the next 2 days, and then a 60% chance over the next 7. So definitely a very, very intriguing system here. You can also see we do have a 30% chance of development up here near Europe, both over the next 2 days and over the next 7 days. So definitely a very interesting look here in the tropics as we're approaching the peak of the hurricane season. Now, as we just dive into the upcoming pattern, I want to take us through this. By this afternoon and evening, which we're already kind of there, this video is coming out a little bit late, but we can see there is a storm system taking place around this pocket here. We do have a 1,004 millibar low pressure center near Michigan, and this is creating storminess all the way down through the deeper south, all the way through the upper Midwest, and up through Canada. So we can see that this is far stretching and creating a lot of impacts for many different folks. Out west, much quieter, not a lot to speak of, but the system in the east, definitely an intriguing one. By Thursday, we can see this approaching the eastern states, so we see this bringing more and more impacts to these areas here, so the deeper south, up through the kind of Smoky Mountains area, Ohio Valley, the Northeast here. Definitely we're taking a look at some pretty persistent storminess for a lot of these different areas. By the time we reach Friday afternoon, we can see some storms sparking up still in the eastern areas of the United States, all the way from Florida up through Maine, so definitely up and down that eastern seaboard. We're seeing plenty of activity in here. We do see for a lot of the northern Rockies, we're seeing some thunderstorms develop, and also down there for the deeper south, we're seeing some activity taking place. Now, for Saturday, September 9th, we can see plenty of thunderstorms, again, up and down the eastern seaboard. So this is going to be a multiple-day event for these areas. The northern Rockies, northern plains, and upper Midwest, we're seeing a lot of thunderstorm activity. And then down there for Texas and Louisiana, we see some of this also. Let's take this through Sunday, September 10th. We can see that this is an area, again, that we would need to be talking about. So probably like 3 or 4 days in a row here of thunderstorm activity up and down that eastern seaboard. You can definitely tell that the further northward up the coast you go, the more persistent that activity is. So I would say definitely looking at some heavier and more widespread activity the further north up that eastern seaboard you go. For the plains and a lot of the Rockies, we do see this kind of pocket as well of some thunderstorm activity. So activity as a whole is going to be picking up is the general theme here. Monday, September 11th, it's the same story. We have a lot of thunderstorms here for the Four Corner states, a lot of the plains, the upper Midwest. And then for the Northeast here, we can see that there is plenty of thunderstorms happening as well. Now, here we go. As we reach Tuesday, September 12th, we see this system here starting to make its way southward and eastward. We can see areas like northern Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas, up through Missouri into the Ohio Valley and the rest of the Great Lakes and upper Midwest, dealing with these thunderstorms on this particular day. By the time we reach Wednesday the 13th, we get another eastern storm system as this one swings all the way down southward towards these areas, also Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas as well. Definitely seeing some activity in there. For Thursday, September 14th, we can see a lot of thunderstorms up and down the eastern and Gulf Coast. Now, for Friday, September 15th, we can see for the southeast, we see some thunderstorms here, but a lot quieter. We see our major hurricane here off the southeast coast, which is of a lot of concern. This could be around the time frame that we would be taking a look at a potential impact. But this European model run particularly, we don't see much of a threat for the southeast and mid-Atlantic. I don't think that it's anywhere close to being ruled out at this point, so I don't want to give that impression at all. But definitely this one is heading towards a point where it can either curve back eastward from this point or maybe weaken and bring some impacts there to the northeast. That is also a possibility, a little bit scary to think about, but potentially that could be a possibility. So that is going to be something that we keep our eyes on for sure. Total precipitation here, as you can see, we have above average activity from kind of the upper Midwest back down through the Northeast, all the way down the Southeast coast there. And then we can see back up through a lot of the plains. We have this kind of a shaped area like a boomerang, kind of curving around there, as you can see. And as a rule of thumb, anywhere in the reds, we're expecting about 2 to 5 inches of precipitation. So that is definitely what we're expecting to potentially be taking a look at. Anywhere in the whites is practically no precipitation. Your grays 1/10 of an inch or less. Greens are 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. Blues 1/2 an inch to an inch. Your yellows 1 inch to 2 inches. Again, reds 2 to 5 inches. Browns are 5 to 10. We do see some of that here for northern New England. And of course here where this hurricane tracks, so we see that these blues would be 10 to 15, and then your pinks are 15 to 20. And we certainly see a lot of that near the core of this storm. So if this was to come anywhere near the coast, expect gargantuan amounts of rainfall to be a big possibility, among other impacts, including wind, storm surge. Of course, we're going to need to get there if we get there, but that is certainly a possibility. Now, the temperature pattern, we do see a lot of cooler air moving towards the east, warmth along a lot of the west. So we see these areas in general dealing with some warmth here. Cooler temps here for a lot of the plains and the east. Certainly a big possibility. And that really just continues. So this is what we've been talking about for maybe about a week now. And even at the end of this model run, this is an ensemble model, so we do see an averaging out happening here, but we see a lot of warmth prevailing for a lot of your western states. And then we see a lot of neutral to maybe below normal here in the east. Probably we're seeing some of these models calling for warmth here, but a majority of these still calling for cold by this point, around the 20th time frame. We'll get closer and we'll learn a lot more and be able to talk about it. But for now, we're leaning more towards this warm in the west. Again, positive PNA look, and that is going to encourage more colder air into the east than anything. So that is still my expectation about from the 12th through the 20th at least, is what we're taking a look at here. Anyway, a little bit short, a little bit sweet, and straight to the point, but that is today's video. Be sure to subscribe for more daily uploads just like this one, as we're going to keep you guys up to date with all of these important factors like Hurricane Lee, temperature pattern, and as well as just typical storminess. We're going to be rolling through all of it every single day, so be sure to subscribe. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.